And let's have a look here at this news coming from his locals
Wow.
about the new studio.
I'm excited,
So
folks. Check it out.
he goes, working on new studio for revitalizing show. And it's like, just thinking about that, it's so jokes. It's like, buddy, like revitalizing your show, that really shouldn't be your priority or your concern at this moment. It should be trying to find out how to avoid prison where you get fucked up the bum. Like, for real.
Yeah.
It should be like trying to find out how you're going to get your kids back from the government. But he's focused on revitalizing his show. But even the idea that a new studio would revitalize the show?
It's like review tech.
It's so dumb. Yeah, that's what people were really clamoring for, was a refresh of the studio.
A new background.
It wasn't that, you were drunk and high out of your fucking mind jerking yourself off on live stream. Like, it wasn't that you weren't doing anything to do with law, right? Like, come on, man. You weren't law-splaining the interwebs. You were drunk. You were high. You were seething at chat, losing your mind. Your shows were garbage. Oh. They were low energy as fuck. And they were incoherent. Nobody could even understand you. When you brought guests on, you just embarrassed them with your drunkenness, your stupid fucking jokes, making people uncomfortable, burning bridges. But you think, you know what? Here's the solution. A studio refresh.
And by the way, he's like dying. Like, you look like you're dying. No one likes to see that. But look at this. By the way, he puts like a lot of misspells here too.
Well, because he's drunk out of his mind. So, do you know, he claimed on Locals that he poured all the alcohol in his house down the drain.
I saw that.
Do you know how much the alcohol collection cost?
It was like $3,000?
More like $7,000.
Whoa.
So we're supposed to believe that after this guy just lost thousands of dollars worth of cocaine and ketamine and firearms, he had to just post $50,000 in bail. We're going to believe that this drug addict alcoholic poured $7,000 worth of liquor down the drain?
Right?
I have an alternate explanation. I believe that currently he is drinking $7,000 worth of liquor all in one go. And then he's going to tell us all that it's gone. And it's like, yes, it is gone, but it all went down your throat, you fucking bozo.
By the way,
the clown.
By the way,
Lord
Ash,
Baldo.
Isn't it really funny? This is a conspiracy. I was set up. People don't like me, but I'm pouring all my booze out. But I thought it was a conspiracy. I thought it was bullshit. True,
why doesn't he make a video? This is what he could do, because I don't think this would actually hurt him fucking, his legal prospects at all. Because he already said, he posted saying he poured it down the drain, which, by the way, seems to be an indicator that you have a problem, because why would you be pouring it down the drain? It's the same sort of indicator of a problem that it was why he couldn't go to rehab, right?
Yep, exactly.
So he told us he couldn't go to rehab because it would be an admission of wrongdoing, but he can tell us all that he poured all the alcohol down the drain.
Right? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. Does it? No, of course not. But if that's the case, why didn't you just film a video of you pouring bottle after bottle down the drain?
Yeah, and put it on Locals. Make every video, every bottle a video, and you'd reach the 14 you owed the fucking local people.
Yeah. and be like, listen, guys, here it is. I'm pouring it. There it is. I'm destroying my addiction.
Right?
He didn't do that fucking shit. And this whole studio refresh, or he's moving the studio, what this means to me, his ass got thrown out by Lady Racket. She was like, fuck this, because her family was involved in the report.
Yeah, the sister.
Her sister was like, fuck this shit. Like, the children aren't being fed. They're stinky. I've went over there, and my sister looks like a fucking crack user. She looks like she's lost her fucking mind. Everything's a disaster. I've had enough. So that side of the family, like Kayla's side of the family, probably has her back and is empowering her to throw Lord Baldo on the streets. And let's remember, because I don't think this is just wild speculation, because Rekieta gave the $50,000 for him
Exactly.
to have no conditions.
Yeah,
so
but not
there's
her.
no random drug testing for him. He's able to drink, he's able to smoke pot, and there's no drug testing for him. But for her, there's still random drug testing. He didn't fork out the money for her. So there's clearly some sort of trouble in paradise going on here.
I have a theory, Ash. Do you want to hear this? I believe that the sister and the family, right, said, Kayla, if you take the random testing, if you do all this stuff, we'll support you. You're allowed to stay at our house, and we'll help you through this whole situation. If you pay the $50K and go back with Nick, we're not going to help you. I think that's what happened because like the sister was the reporter too, was one of the reporters. So
well, I think that Rekieta, because he has the two houses, I think his wife just told him, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And so he's now moving his studio over to the second house.
Yeah.
Is what's going on. And they're not living together. And it might be because of a disagreement over the legal strategy. Maybe she's going to rat on Rekieta, turn on him, testify against him for a deal. And if that happens, shit's about to fucking get fucked.
Yeah.
Because Rekieta's going to be on the hook for child support and alimony for like a 20-year marriage where they had 5 children.
Oh.
It's not going to be cheap, buddy. And I think she might be entitled to part of your trust fund as well there, Lord Baldo.
And the house.
And the house. But she's not in. So she might get to keep that house. And the kids are going to live there. And Rekieta might get the other one. Maybe. And he'll live in that one, segregated from his wife and children, all alone. But he says here, he fucks up immediately. Like, you would think...
You double check.
You would think if you're being accused of being a drug addict and an alcoholic and a sex and all this shit and your brain's fried and you're a cuckold, you'd think you'd proofread this stuff, right? To avoid any sort of people saying, hey, this guy seems like he's still on drugs. But immediately, hurrahs, a new chat. When the show comes back...
What?
Yeah, no, he couldn't spell hears.
Oh, here.
Hears. When the show comes back, there's going to be a new look and a slightly different feel.
A slightly different feel. What does he mean? Slightly. Listen, Nick, it's got to be a literally complete new feel. It has to be like, whoa, he's normal. Like, slightly different.
He's clearly out of his mind on drugs and booze.
He's fucked.
He's fucked out of his mind, and he's using it to cope with the fact his wife tossed his ass out of the house.
Oh.
He goes, I think you'll like it. But then he goes, I know most people won't.
He's right.
The self-felt of it all. So if you know most people won't like the change, why are you doing it? It must be because you have to make the change, right?
But Ash, read the next line, and then I have a funny thing. But it will
become comfy over time.
This is like when Walter was kicked out of the house in Breaking Bad and had to stay in the apartment, in the townhouse.
No! It's tough out there.
Oh, it's like Milhouse's dad, you know?
Oh,
man. Oh, dude.
Planning the kickoff show. So he's already planning the return stream, which is such a bad idea. And the fact that we're like apparently days away from this insane kickoff stream, it's like, why don't you just not stream? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about maybe just don't post on locals, don't post on Instagram, don't post on Twitter, get a lawyer, focus on your case, and focus on getting your kids back, getting sober, figuring out how you're not going to go to prison.
No, he has to plan and by the way, what is he planning? How do you cover a trial of someone who's doing way less than what you are being accused of?
The thing is, he's not even going to cover a trial, Andy. He wasn't covering trials before because he said he had no time to do the trials. He was too stressed. He's better be doing trials now. He has no kids to worry about. So in a way, it's like relieving for him. All the stress is gone. No wife, no kids. He's all alone in the new house or whatever, his new Cope studio. There should be no excuse. He should deliver the 14 local streams that were promised. He needs to deliver streaming a trial every day, right? Like,
yeah.
There's no excuse anymore. There's no kids around, my friend.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Thank
that's
you so
what we're
much.
saying, Excalibur. I think he's
you.
going back to the old house he had there in 2018, 2019, because he owns 2 houses.
Oh, so funny.
So he's moving all of his shit to this old studio. What's old is new again. And he's planning to come back and start streaming. Like probably this week or next week. He was trying to say he was going to do it like the day of or the next day.
It was the next day, yeah.
The next day. And then he just got felted by Aaron. There's just been a massive shit avalanche. The incident report, Aaron's interviews all over the place, the full fucking warrants coming out, law tubers turning on him, insane copes and sweeps from his people that make him look worse and worse and worse. But the kickoff is coming, folks.
It is the felt that never ends.
We got like what was like the season finale, or what should have been. But now we're getting like an immediate season premiere, the kickoff of the new season of Rekieta.
It's like when Netflix bulk drops the season, you know?
And I'm getting in a good place to speak about the world without speaking about my case. Should be very soon. Now, I just want to point out that Rekieta has a real problem with holding back on stuff. He has a real problem with impulse control, hence being an alcoholic and a cokehead. And he's still on those substances.
Of course.
As far as I'm concerned, until proven otherwise.
In our opinion.
Pretty sure he's still flying on that stuff.
Yeah.
So he's going to be streaming for hours and hours at a time. His whole chat just filled to the brim with people talking about the case, hating on him. The super chats are going to be full of hate and about the case. And he's not going to comment on it? Come on. He thinks he's so smart he can comment on it and get away with it. And it's going to keep fucking him over at every turn. And only really by the end of all of this, all of the proceedings, will he realize how badly he fucked this up. It's going to be really, you know? Then he says he's taking the opportunity to shift to a more daytime schedule. So finally, those meddling kids are gone. And he can stream during the day like he always wanted to. Like, he's going to take this as a W.
But I'll still have time for my nighttime people?
The nighttime, you know, like, so you're going to stream all day and all night.
It's Ralph here.
These are like delusions that he has. The guy couldn't even stream once or twice a week. He couldn't fulfill any of his promises to any of his supporters for months and months and months. But now suddenly, under the most pressure, under the most stress of his entire life, he's going to magically stream during the morning and at night and fulfill all of his locals' promises and also be on this case and get his children back.
No.
He's also going to quit his addictions and he's going to get sober and clean. Like, it's bullshit.
No.
It's just crazy what's going on at this point. I mean, the speculation is pretty rife. It may or may not be. Maybe he's moving his studio to somewhere else in the house, but I don't think so.
No.
I think the fact he's putting this out publicly, why wouldn't he just keep it the same?
Or change the background in the same room?
It seems to me like there's a bit more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah.
But he's now also graced us on his locals with his new revision.
Okay. Denny's Cop.
Denny's Cop says he ordered a grand slam with extra bacon. This is from the locals. And Rekieta says, this is what the local sheriff is calling the search of my house. This is a joke and not a legal statement.
Hang on.
So the sheriff searching his house is a grand slam with extra bacon. The cops are celebrating, man. It's a big time grand slam with extra bacon. Like, he's dunking on himself.
What would you
And he's referencing the kid. Like, It's basically an admission of guilt. He's like, yeah, that's what the cops are calling it. They're calling it a grand slam. They searched my house. They
With
got
extra
20 pounds
bacon.
of
Get
cocaine.
it?
The extra bacon is the
more
fucking
cops.
guns in the house.
No, I think it's just
And
more
and the
cops
child
walking around.
Bacon because cops equals pigs. Ha ha ha.
Fuck
And
yeah.
then, you're right, Padman, but he's not going to comment about the case, right? He's already commenting about the case, and he's not even live. So, I don't know how we're supposed to believe he's not going to comment about the case now.
I'm so excited for his first show back.
Oh,
I'm so excited. Holy shit,
I'm
dude.
so excited.
Sheesh.
And I just can't find it.